Okay, to get started to make our Ruffly sparkle bracelet, you're going to need a few tools and supplies. You're going to need some wire cutters to cut your beading wire. Of course, you're going to need some beading wire. It's good to have some pliers on hand for crimp beads. You're going to need some scissors to cut your artistic wire mesh or wire lace. You're going to need some pretty sparkly beads. I like to use these crimp ends. They actually have a little loop on the end, so you don't even need jump rings. Although you might need a jump ring depending on your clasp, and then some clasps of your choice. So what I have done here, and it's gonna be hard to see against the white, so let me bring a piece of paper underneath. What I've done is I've cut a length of wire, about 12 inches. I've attached a crimp end, a jump ring, and my clasp. So this is what's going to be used for my bracelet. I always cut it bigger than I need because you never know how things are gonna go. So, but this part is all prepared and waiting for us. So then you're gonna need to take your wire lace or artistic wire mesh, and it comes kind of, I'm going to bring that colored background back because I like it better. It comes just all flattened in two, which is kind of boring. So what I start to do is I just start pulling it and creating these little figure 8 ruffles. And they don't really have to go any particular which way because when you string it, it will start to look like something. But you see how it starts to create this like ruffly texture? So I'm going to keep doing that and I will come back with the next bit. Okay, so now I have ruffled and manipulated my artistic wire mesh, and I've kind of scrunched it up a little bit so that it had that kind of lacy effect, and I've started stringing it on my beading wire. So again, here's my clasp, the crimp. I found that these holes are really small, and so I actually had to put a little spacer bead here so that it wouldn't actually pull off the end. And now I'm just going to do a simple ruffle and thread. So I put on a bead, I'm going to thread my beading wire through the artistic lace, artistic wire mesh, I can't get the names right. Then I'm going to add on another bead. Notice how I don't even need a beading needle, I'm just using the end of the bead-along wire. And then I kind of crumple it up a little bit and I thread back through. So this is almost like stitching. Actually, it is stitching. It's exactly stitching. And now I'm just going to keep threading a bead on, threading through the lace, threading a bead on, threading through the lace until I have it the desired length. Which, depending on your wrist and how chunky your beads are, I can't even begin to tell you how many beads you're going to need. So you'll just have to kind of make sure you have what you think is enough. If you have a bead board, you can always kind of plan it out, but you'll start to see pretty quickly how it emerges. And you can even give it a little twist to give it a little more sparkle and shine. So I'm going to keep going with this and I'll be back at the end. All right, so now I have finished threading all of my lace and all of my beads. And now I'm going to finish it off. So as you can see here, I just took a little bit of the lace and I kind of just rolled it under 2 or 3 times. Actually twice is enough, and then I threaded it through. So there's no little wonky rough edges. The nice thing about wire is if you just give it a pinch, it will actually hold it. It's just like, working with aluminum foil. You pinch it and it gets really flat and then it stays where you put it. So now to finish it off, I'm going to use another one of these spacer beads, just because, like I said, this is a very narrow bead and a narrow lace. And now I'm going to add on my crimp end. Now, these come in a couple of different sizes. This one is a slightly larger loop. This will enable me to use it as a jump ring. And what I'm going to do is pull the thread through. This might be a little fussy for me to do live and on camera, so bear with me. What I'm going to do is use the pliers to help pull it through. Let me get a little closer here. There we go. Just like so. find the place where it's in focus. There it is. So now it's all snugged up. By the way, I did double check this to make sure it would fit my wrist. Always do so just before you crimp, because once you crimp, you can't go back. So now I'm going to hold it taut with my left hand, because I'm right-handed, and just give it a nice squeeze with my pliers and crimp that bead. And I like to go back and do both sides. Make sure I got it. Give it a little tug. Looks good. Crimp, 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 crimp. That's it, live and in action crimping. So this is the part where I admit to you I had to stop the camera and pull it up closer so I could see it. So now my crimp end is attached securely, and I just reach over and I use this pretty little sterling silver heart clasp, and it is ready to go. So I think also, if you like it to look a little more freeform, you can give it a twist like this and kind of spiral the lace around. And if it starts to flatten out, you just kind of refluff it. But I like the fact that it looks pretty and lacy and kind of sweet and delicate on the wrist. A little Downton Abbey-esque, don't you think? Yes, I think. Kind of elegant and lacy and very feminine. So pretty. And again, let me just readjust for you. So you can see, here's the larger one that I made with the big, big chunky beads. This has a little more edge to it. It's a little more rocker chick. And then here's a little more delicate and lacy. So there you go. That has been my Ruffle and Shine bracelet tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Also, there will be a link in the comments section so you can see the full post on crafttestdummies.com. Thanks so much and have a crafty day.